TIFU by telling my Muslim cashier she looked like Mia Khalifa. This happened a few days ago and I still feel really bad. So I visit a little corner store / drugstore in my town and usually see the same 3 cashiers there. I've been going for a while, 3 or 4 times a week, so I've gotten to know the cashiers a little bit. We chat sometimes. Small talk, things about the town, how the store is doing. I have talked to the young women who I will call Hafsa for a while now. It's not like we're friends, but she knows me and I know her. Anyways, just the other day I was checking out with my candy or whatever and I noticed she was wearing thick, black framed glasses. She always has a hijab on, which is why I know she is a Muslim, along with contemporary clothes for a woman in her 20s. I had never seen the glasses on her before, so they stuck out to me. I wear glasses too, so I usually like to compliment people on their choice or frames. So I said, new frames? They look cool. She smiles and said thanks. Then for reasons I will never fully understand, I decided to say they make you look like Mia Khalifa. She looked up at me with funny face and said, who? I realized she probably didn't watch PS and didn't know who that was. If I'm being honest, I've never seen any of Mia Khalifa's videos as I have not watched PS for a very long time. I've just seen her pop up in the news lately and I watched that show Rami on Hulu. But before I could possibly recover and say, oh, it's nobody, her coworker starts laughing as blurts out, she says, this super famous star, Hafsa. You don't know her? She does real hardcore stuff too. Ha ha ha. And those glasses do make you look like her. Ha ha ha. Hafsa looked up at me horrified and I realized what I had said. I was absolutely humiliated and so was she. She put my stuff in a bag, mumbled thanks and I briskly walked away. Her coworker was still chuckling to herself as I walked out of the store. I probably made her feel like ups and feel bad about her glasses too. Yikes. I still cringe. TL. Doctor. I said a very kind Muslim woman with glasses reminded me of star Mia Khalifa in front of her coworkers and humiliated her. But seriously, just a word of advice to Muslim women. Mia Khalifa has probably ruined thick, black glasses and hijab look for all you. Edit 1. Spelling. Edit 2. In the immortal words of Ron Burgundy, well, that escalated quickly. A few hundred to 6k in like an hour. I just want to say a few things. I am aware that this was a bad thing to do. I am not proud or happy that I said this. I felt guilt and regret over this happening. I don't know why this needs to be said on TIFU, but there you go. This was a bad psup. Reading the comments have been a trip and certainly a learning experience. But some people seem to be working out their own deep, personal demons down there. People seem to be especially offended by my last statement, but instead of deleting it, I will amend it to more clearly say what I meant. Be aware that there exists a very famous woman called Mia Khalifa, whose claim to fame was appearing in films in a hijab while wearing thick, black glasses. Some men who have seen her videos may be reminded of her when they see you in a similar look. This is not your fault. It is the men's mind that drifts to this dirty place. They are wrong for doing this, but it still might happen. Also, I'm aware that Muslims and Arabs are different, and that Islam is a religion, not a group of people. I wonder if the cashier went home and googled Mia Khalifa lol. Should have just said she is some kind of influencer, which is what she calls herself these days. I'm a brown girl with long brown hair and glasses and TBH I don't really look anything like her besides that. I remember putting my hand up BC I had a question in a physics lecture with less than 5 women very male dominated and the prof said, yes, Mia Khalifa. I've never turned so red as everyone laughed to themselves and I vowed to never wear a tank top or lower cut shirt in that class. I actually think she's a pretty cool chick and gorgeous. I wasn't offended by the comparison or anything. It's the fact that I suddenly felt very sexualized that made me uncomfy. Edit. A giant psu to all the people who've been messaging me to send them nudes and face pics to backquote verify that I don't look like her. Yikes. If she's a practicing Muslim, she's probably really bothered by the perceived objectification. She wears hijab to protect herself from that. This being said, Muslims aren't without a funny bone. Just apologize the next time you see her. Tell her you were just trying to say she looked nice. Try to do that while not staring intently at her. She'll probably laugh and forgive you. If not, find a new corner store. Lol, you dummy. I bet as you were saying this your mind was half telling you no, don't you say this to her. I asked a girl when she was due once and she had a beer in her hand and that's the way it went down. Like my brain and mouth couldn't coordinate. Good god, this hurt to read up. Like legitimately I cringed. I worked as a waitress before all this coronaps happened, and I remember one night, two guys came in, and they were sat in my section. They kept complimenting me all night and then told me that I look like Mia Khalifa before I went to cash them out. TBH, I know who she is, so I played along with it and responded with, well, she is a beautiful woman, so thanks for the compliment, I guess. It was a little weird, though, since I'm white and the only thing that I really have in common with her is brown hair, glasses, and a love of hockey. Did you apologize? It's just ironic that Muslims are known for being conservative, and you compared her to Upstar. As a Muslim cashier myself, yeah, I'd say this sub is the right place to post this. This is a Reddit moment right here. I'm sorry, but this one's all on you. Never tell a woman you don't know that she looks like Upslol. Can we get a fatwa on our late? Reason 1043 why working retail sucks. Kind of awkward thing to say to a stranger regardless of whether they are familiar or not, lol. You can clearly never shop there again. Well, yeah, oops up, but maybe you can just try to tell her. Follow up on this at all actually. RIP. Just say Maya is a sports commentator, it ain't wrong. The variety of these comments is great. Some of that is on her coworker, Imo, who should have appreciated the context. Maybe not bring up stars in regular conversation. I've never seen any of Mia Khalifa's videos as I have not watched ps for a very long time. Sure mate, sure. Mia Khalifa was raised Catholic, but apparently she did ps in a hijab. I mean, the coworker seems more like an ps. Read the room. Cirque du Soleil was in town. Girl had similar makeup as the acrobats. I was too shy to ask if she was in the circus. Blurted out something like, "Is your makeup for a show?" She didn't answer, looked mad as hell, and left the store. Not my finest moment. Well, that remember me that girl at work. She was wearing a new hijab. It was a green one with a brown robe. Said to her it made her look a bit countryside. In my head it was nothing bad. Heck, I grew up countryside. So half the day pass, and at dinner time she left and came back with other clothing. Made me feel bad. If you had your wit and charisma leveled up, you would have been able to claim you only know about her works in Rami. Rami is such a great show. For all you listeners at home. Available on Hulu. Edit, Rami, and show source. Wait, wrong sub. I seriously laughed for like a good minute over this. Thanks op for sharing your F up. Ps theme intensifies. Oh, I thought it said Muslim daughter. A word of advice to Muslim women. No matter their ethnicity, lol. You could go back in and say something along the lines of, I didn't realize she was ups, and I didn't say anything earlier because I was super embarrassed to find that out after having compared you to her. Just an idea. My ex did this to me. Stopped straightening my hair for 5 years lmayo. A better word of advice regarding women in general. I know being on the internet might make reality seem like all things are acceptable, but almost no woman wants to be compared to a star. Not even an attractive star. Unless you're a 100% sure they're into it, just don't. I worked with an autistic kid back in the day, and he told one of our co-worker, I like girls with brown hair, like I see in smags. I was stunned. She was horrified. And his parents couldn't believe he knew about that stuff. He was 20-ish. Reminds me of Opus. You realize that Muslim is a religion, and not an ethnicity, right? As a fellow Muslim is hilarious NGL. But I would be mortified if it happened to me. You should definitely apologize to her. Poor woman had a creep for a customer and a creep for a coworker. Have you thought about apologizing at some point for the embarrassing moment? That there in the second sentence really did a number on me. I would probably laugh if you said this to me, but don't bring up in normal conversation. You should have said she's a girl from TikTok lol. I had to ask who, as well. I don't get the hate for op on this thread. He admitted heaps up. Why are so many people dying? How terrible he is. Have all you haters never done anything you immediately regretted? The cashier's co-worker isn't for making it so much worse. She knew what she was saying, did it anyway, and laughed at her. Hit or miss? I guess you missed, bruh. It seems your intentions were good. People telling you to feel bad should just fuck right off. Men go to each and every brown girl in existence and tell her she looks like Mia Khalifa. She got sued by BB, and they are releasing her unreleased vids out of spite. Lol. I mean, she is hot, but maybe just stick to backquote pretty or backquote anyone ever tell you you look like a model? From now on, don't be the guy that goes to jail and says she was thicker than a bowl of oatmeal, or as pretty as ups. Just a word of advice to Muslim women. Mia Khalifa has probably ruined thick, black glasses and hijab look for all you. Or you could just say, word of advice to all the men, stop pointing out York's knowledge to anyone. Lolry, your edits, don't waste your time clarifying your clear statements to the low IQ reactionary internet mob. Yo WTF bro, I can't believe this is a normal thought process that seems acceptable. Honestly, who cares? It's funny. Big deal, you said she looks like ups. I can't believe someone would be offended by a comment that soft. Mia Khalifa hasn't ruined any Muslim style because majority of people aren't so overly obsessed with ps, they don't see it everywhere they go unlike you do. That's pretty sad actually. The ps is wrong with you, Goddam? Let's be honest about what's happening here. You can't look at a Muslim girl with clunky glasses without thinking of Upstallard who cemented the image in your mind originally. This has nothing to do with a girl's fashion choice and everything to you with you projecting your ps. I think it's hilarious. By the way, and I'm a Muslim. That said, you seem to be making a whole set of assumptions based on her religion. For instance, it's totally possible she knows exactly who that actress is and selected that look to emulate her, and that she was pretending ignorance to save face after you called her out and embarrassed her. Point being, anyway, take the hijab out of the equation. You told a girl she looks like a star, and you and someone else reacted horribly to that gaffe because of what seemed to be your own hang-ups about Muslim women. I grew up in a conservative religion. Most women would never admit to liking compliments like that, but sexual suppression awakes a natural instinct to be desired. She of course, as any women, would not want to be objectified, but the conservative upbringing might flatter her when she sees how gorgeous Mia is. When you grow up conservative, it's amazing some of the secret kinks people will have, so you never know, it might impact her positively somehow, in a way you might never know. I know how you feel. I told my friends GF she looked exactly like the prostitute Patrick Bateman murders in American Psycho. She does. But apparently that's not appropriate. There is a special place in hell for that cowworker. A well-respected sports journalist. Mia Khalifa. Who? Me Uncle Kiefer. Next visit. Turns out she is Mia. This is peak autism. I feel like Op thinks he's hilarious and is expecting people to laugh with him and pat him on the back. Op, you sound like a moron. Plain and simple. And no, she has not ruined anything for all Muslim women. I'd highly recommend you go back and apologize to her and apologize to her co-worker for creating an uncomfortable situation. Then, I'd highly recommend you work on your social skills. I'm not sure if common sense can be improved on at this point, but at least learn to social better. I told a McDonald's cashier that she looked like Greta Gerwig, and she didn't know who that was. The next time I saw her, she gave me the evil eye. I also once told somebody that he looked like Jeff Garlin. He said, "That fat piece of s," and then walked away really hurt. I guess he had a better opinion of himself than reality. WTF man, you're an ps. We all make mistakes in the heat of passion, Jimbo. You were comparing her look, not her professional deeds. And it's the truth, as the other worker pointed out. And it was meant as a compliment. You should revisit the store. Sometimes it's this blunt honesty that marks the beginning of a friendship, as barriers are unintentionally knocked down. At worst it's a cringe, but nothing to be ashamed of. Jesus, you're acting like a total jerk in the comments and your edits are less than favorable and absolutely ridiculous. Also Maya hasn't ruined anything for anyone. It's men like you being creeps that has. I've never seen any backquote videos lol. How messed up do you have to be to speak about stars so casually? Extremely grossed out by all the comments saying it was a compliment, or that they don't see the problem. If someone is wearing a hijab then they likely practice a more modest lifestyle. This was probably so uncomfortable and offensive. I do not live a modest lifestyle in any means and this would even make me super creeped out. Nobody should be subjected to feeling uncomfortable at their place of work, where they can't even speak up for themselves without fear of losing their job. At least Top recognized his mistake unlike some of this comment section.